I am so excited. We are entering a whole new era on the RobMotive channel in a partnership with Banks Power. These are performance enhancing parts for the 4th generation Tacoma. They also have many parts for other Tacomas and other models out there, so check them out. Now, what we've got here is the Banks cold air intake or ram air intake. We've got the Banks pedal monster, an awesome throttle controller, a must-have, and the IDash Pro system to monitor different systems, temperatures, boost, all kinds of things within the truck. Now, why am I doing this? Because I wanted the most responsive, quickest, fastest Toyota Tacoma I could have. I wanted to get all that I could get out of that 4-cylinder turbo, and I am now. These things are freaking awesome. We're going to install each one on the truck. I'm going to show you what they look like. We're going to have ongoing reviews with them, and I'll also let you know what my first impressions are. The first one we're going to start with is the Banks Pedal Monster. Now, you may be asking yourself, or you'll be asking me, I know, why did you go to this as opposed to the other throttle controller that you had? There's a couple of big reasons, and I'll probably repeat these in the install video coming up. But number one, it has, and this is my terminology, kind of a redundancy system built in, so that if anything were to go wrong, don't know why it would, but if it did with the throttle controller, it reverts back to stock. You're not going to be stranded. With the other throttle controllers out there, something goes wrong, circuit burns out, who knows what happens. You're going to be sitting on the side of the road because your accelerator, your gas pedal, is not going to work. That does not happen with the Banks Pedal Monster. Secondly, it has something called tip-in, where you can adjust when that throttle sensitivity kicks in, so that you don't hit your accelerator and go flying through the front of your garage, or even worse, maybe the same, flying through the back of your garage because of the sensitivity increase in the pedal, until you get used to it. You can also use that feature if you're off-roading, maybe you want slower approaches and things, you don't want the tires to take off right away. Just an awesome, awesome feature. Not to mention the integrated control with your phone. They have the app, of course, and the IDash Pro system. You can also control the pedal monster with that system. Anyway, those are the reasons why I've changed. It's just a better system. It's a smart system. Do you want a dumb system when it comes to throttle control? I didn't. That's why I've gone with Banks Pedal Monster. Now, let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to start the first of 3 installs with the Pedal Monster. Here are the part numbers. These are for the 4th generation Tacoma specifically. You've got the IDash Pro system, the Pedal Monster kit, and the little pod that we're going to mount on the A pillar. And here is the part number for that, right on the back. So, first things first, we want to go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. Always a good idea to do that if you're doing anything electrical in your Tacoma. All right, time to unbox the unit. Inside, you've got the Pedal Monster unit. Let's go ahead, pull that out. You've got the wiring specific to your truck, of course. We've got some other wiring pieces, some zip ties, and of course, some Banks stickers. Now, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and disconnect the connection above the gas pedal inside the truck. Okay, you want to locate the connector right above the accelerator or the gas pedal in the Tacoma. It's right here. There is a tab or a push-in area on the right side. You want to push that in and then pull up on this connector to disconnect it. Now, once you have it disconnected, and you can see right up at the top, right up here where my thumb is, that's the push-in area that's facing the interior of the truck or the passenger side. That's what you depress, pull it straight up. Now, you want to grab your pedal monster and you want the shorter edge, let's identify it that way, the shorter edge, in mine one is gray, one is black. The shorter connector is going to go over the connection on top of the accelerator with the push release, you can see right there, facing the same way as the OE model was. Then we're going to plug the gray connector into the wire that we removed from the top of the accelerator. Now that you've got the pedal monster connected to the accelerator pedal, we want to go ahead and run the wiring up the side here where we're going to have a pod for the IDash Pro. A little bit of disassembly required in that, not too difficult. We're going to remove a little thumb screw right back here. We're going to take out this Phillips head screw here, and then we're going to pry this side piece off. Make sure you're using plastic pry tools. It pulls out kind of like a book opening, right? And then pulls right out of the edge. It'll give you access to run the wiring up through here, where ultimately we'll have the pod up here, which we're going to mount next. We're going to go ahead and pull off this trim piece. Pretty simple to do. I don't have the speaker over here, but if you do, make sure you remove this carefully and then disconnect the speaker up here out of the trim piece. To remove this, you simply want to pull out on this little cover here, and below it you'll see a 10mm screw. Pull that off, and then go ahead and pull this out and towards you, and it will come out from the bottom down below. And you can go ahead and remove the cover. You're not going to need this anymore because the pod is going to sit right here. Now, let's go ahead, remove the 10mm screw. And they have it in there like they mean it. And you can set this aside. We're not going to be needing this anymore either. Now, to remove this piece, you should be able to simply pull out. And you heard maybe a little pop there. And then, once we overcome the trim piece there, we want to just pull this out like so, and you can see it has a couple little prongs down here holding it in, and that's it. This is your airbag, by the way. We're not messing with the airbag at all. Now let's go ahead and prepare this opening for the pod. Now, to prepare that trim piece we removed, you're going to drill a little hole, or a hole, right here. And the kit comes with a provided step bit, and you're going to want to drill it big enough so that you can fit 2 cables through there if you're running the IDash Pro system. I believe it would be up to the 16mm mark right to here on that step bit. Do it slowly. Obviously, you only get one shot at this. And again, right here is where you want to be. I have marked it. You can see the gold mark right in the corner here. That's where we're going to drill. Okay, when you're all done, you want the hole to look like this, and it is to pass through 2 of these cables, obviously. Again, if you're running the IDash Pro system. So now we need to go ahead and remove these trim pieces in the truck, and then we can route the wires from up here, which is where the IDash Pro is going to go, down to plug into the end of the pedal monster right there. Pretty simple. This is what it should look like once you have everything removed. Very easy to do. And I decided to just go ahead and remove the whole sill plate or sill area here because it just makes it easier. It gives you more room. And it pulls up very easily. It's just pushed down by connectors, so it's pretty easy to pull out. All right, we've got the wires run right up the side, just like we wanted right here, coming out at the top. Of course, all of this is going to be covered by this trim piece. So next, we need to go ahead and mount the trim piece back on, pull the wires through the hole, and then we'll be ready to pull them through the pod, which the IDash Pro will sit in. We can go ahead and connect everything up, And we're getting pretty close to being just about done. At this point, you should look like this. This just screws right in there. Pretty darn simple. And we'll plug this into the IDash Pro. We've got the other connections down here to go into the pedal monster. We need to connect into the OBD port with this end. That end is going to plug into one of the ports, and it doesn't matter which one, on the pedal monster. And then we'll fire it up and see what happens. It should be pretty cool. I am all done, and I gotta say, this thing is freaking cool. First of all, let's take a look at the Pedal Monster app. You can see we've got a few things set up on there. You can either have it connected to the IDash Pro, which is what I have it connected to, or the Pedal Monster. Over here is the IDash Pro. This thing is just awesome. I've got it set up, and there are tons of different ways to set it up, but I've got it set up with the pedal monster over here so I can adjust what I want. This is the default city. It won't be staying there. And then over here I've got speed, fuel, which shows 80%. That's what the dash looks like. I know everybody's always curious because of this small tank what you've got. 80%. And then over here we've got boost pressure, which we're sitting still, and then horsepower, which we're burning at 2 horsepower right now. I'm very interested to see what that shows like. And like I said, there are tons of different things you can set this to, and it's pretty darn simple to do. So I'm going to take it out. I'll bring you with me. We're going to do a test drive. Primarily, we're just going to focus on the pedal monster because I want to set it at some of the different levels and see what the throttle response is in the truck. That was the primary reason that I decided to go ahead and do this, but I've got to say, this is just cool in itself. And I love the way that it mounts up here. It's like it's integrated into the truck. By the way, this pod here is paintable if you want to change the color of it. For me, since my trim is all black in here, I'm going to go ahead and leave it just black. Anyway, let's get out on the road and see what the pedal monster does when it comes to throttle responsiveness. First impressions, and I haven't even done anything, it's more responsive, and I'm driving in city. City, you guys can see right there, or over here. But anyway, I'm driving in city mode, and wow, there's a big difference. I haven't even done anything yet, but I'm gonna now. Let's go, let's just go up to sport. That was full city, that's probably why. Let's go to, say, mid-range sport right there. And let's take off. Oh my God. It's amazing. And I thought the truck was pretty good, honestly, just stock, but wow, you want to get everything you can get out of your new Tacoma? You got to have this. This is amazing. Plus, you've got to throw in this IDash Pro. This thing, again, there's a myriad of settings, and I'll run through them in a later video, but I've got it set right now. Fuel percentage, 91, 93%. Boost, right now, I'm not running any boost. I'll have to give it a little gas here in a second. I'm on a slow road and I've got traffic, but I gotta say, wow, this thing is awesome. And I thought the ones I had in the past were good, but they don't, they really don't compare to this. This is amazing to me. And I love all the different options you have. You can do it on just your phone. You don't have to have the IDash Pro, but man, why wouldn't you? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna take a left here and I'm gonna get on the throttle a little bit. I wanna see what that boost gauge does. And let's go ahead and do that right now. And you can see, look at that. We're up to, well, we were up 12.1, 13.5, 14. This is amazing. I'm going to have so much freaking fun with this. And it's, you know, there is a practical reason to know what your truck is doing, right? I mean, if you're, you know, running high pressures or you're running high temperatures, things like that, that's good to know because you can monitor all kinds of different things on here. I love it. Anyway, that's the install and first impressions of the Banks Power Pedal Monster. I have been missing out. This thing is freaking awesome. I love it. Let me know if you've got one, particularly if you've got the iPod, or the iDash Pro, I should say, iPod, as well as, of course, you'd have the app if you have the Pedal Monster, but this thing, frickin' cool.